I've been working on this new game recently, but in order to understand it, we have to go to the beginning. So on YouTube one day, I discovered this devlog for some game named Endoparasitic. And immediately, I loved the lighting effects from it. So I thought it would be cool if I can create a new project with dynamic lighting. Then I created the scene and I did not know where to begin. Right now I'm just going to try to create the scene first to see how this would be able to work. But I do remember the Brachy's tutorial with the dynamic lighting effect should hopefully allow this project to be easier. Luckily, Code Monkey is coming clutch for making the player movement.
In this video, we're going to make which will be the mouse position minus our transform position. And since this is a direction, let's normalize this vector. Okay, so now we have our aim direction. This is a vector with values on the x and y pointing towards the mouse position. Now we need to convert this into a Euler angle.
So here I have the player object circling around a square, and I just made the cursor like a whitish, but hopefully I'm probably gonna add some graphics right now. Made some art for it. It's literally just a head with a body and a bunch of joints, arms. There we go, it looks a lot better now, finally. So luckily I found the video where Brachy's is explaining the 2D lighting effect in Unity.
One thing that has been a bit confusing the last couple of years was how to deal with 2D lighting in Unity. Unity of course started out as a 3D engine and has since created a bunch of tools to make working with 2D a lot easier. However, up until this point we've been creating all of it.
So I managed to get the 2D lighting working. It just doesn't look that good right now, but as soon as you go boom, lighting way better. Now if we move around, you can see that the lighting actually changes. So what I'm trying to figure out right now is the enemy script. It is going pretty okay, I guess. So originally I would just make one variable, but then it turns out I needed more variables, so I made more variables, and then I needed more variables. So I didn't know there's ability to create custom inspectors in Unity, but that is really cool.
Option before we check to see if it's true or not. So we'll put that above, and if we go back to Unity, if you could see player jump, we can open that out. You can see can jump is false. We set that to true. You can see that now we can set the jump high, and if we get rid of that, it's not available. So it just helps us keep it nice and neat, and we've got a few options to be.
Custom inspector is such a nightmare. Because look at all these serialized properties. And all these properties have to be enabled. And all of them have to be referenced inside this on the inspector GUI script. Ugh. So I made the enemy be able to stop and just look at you very intensely. But it's progress. Just run from it. It's not exactly very smart, but it is something. Look at me to shoot. You can probably shoot ammo now. But you know when you got enemies, you have to be able to kill the enemies. This grab script is giving me a headache. like sometimes it's working, but also sometimes it's not working. I don't really know how to fix it or what's going on. So let me go to the only place that I will know what's going on, and I just call it ChatGTP. I finally managed to get the code working. It just took a lot of ChatGTPing, but just submitting my code and it giving me stuff back and just messing with it. And eventually, after a quarantine, I managed to get it back working. I didn't know text mesh was a thing before, but apparently it is. So I wanted to use it to make like a little UI in my game, a little set UI in my game. Imagine being a programmer for 2 years and learning what text mesh was. Okay, finally, I managed to get it working. All you do is just go pow, 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 and they're gone. Currently, I have no damage for the character, but that'll hopefully be soon. But then I realized there was no way to know if the enemy was walking towards you. So I made this red glow, and totally not inspired by Dead by Daylight. But this was gonna let you know if an enemy was coming your way. But then I decided to scrap that idea, because why am I making visual effects before I have audio effects? So I made audio into the game. It wasn't really hard. Just ChatGTP, just asked it how to make a sound when something moved, and here you go. The enemy script now has step audio. But I still hate enemy custom inspector. It's just so tedious to use. It's so tedious to use. But now there is step audio for both sides. It's just very low because they lowered it a lot. Because why do you really need very high step audio? But there is one thing that's wrong. Is when you have steps, you need floors. And right now there's just a black void. So putting floors might be a good bet. Thank you Unity Asset Store for these wonderful tiles, which I'll be using entirely. Okay, so all I basically did was just make a huge tile map in the game. Literally just spread a bunch of tiles around, and I just hit them in the inspector. But now there is tiles for you to use and walk around. Time to put together a short level, and boom, the level is complete. Oh yeah, and by the way, I also made some additional spawners just for the enemies to come through. That was actually quite difficult as well, because I didn't know the logic on why my for loop wasn't working. But then I finally realized I actually had to subtract the quantity, not the I value, not the I variable. And it wasn't just confusing for me, it was also confusing for ChatGTP, because they said it was working perfectly. But now when we go to the trigger, we have this guy. And when we go up here, we have the triangle. We go P2. Oh no, another enemy, get him. Got him. Oh, we're getting got from back here. Oh no, 2 enemies, get them. Got them. Nice. I plan to fill up these rooms with different items and stuff. But that is all I have currently. I will be eventually adding more. And as you can see here, I have this 3D printer. I have this 3D printer thing. And I eventually have planned to make a crafting system and a weapon system in the game.